Hello, my name is Anderson. I am professor in the Federal University of Espírito Santo, Brazil. I'll talk about the Mega-Sena, which is the largest lottery in Brazil, and my presentation is about betting, statistics, and education. Thanks. The first thing to do is an initialization, because there are a lot of data to be collected in Brazil. So let's start it now, because it can be delayed. In order to the time to pass a little bit speed up. Oh. I don't know how to. Is there anything wrong with the internet? Yeah. Oh, no, it's an age conference. Yeah, okay. Let me. Okay, could you please raise the sound? That's okay, all right. Loading things and importing data and cleaning tables and so on. And then a few seconds, we are ready to go. Importing files. This is the Mega-Sena file. And cleaning and updating queries, because in the last 20 years, we had a lot of inflation, and queries must be updated. Every time you run this, you have the most updated values. Okay. In just a second, we're going convert into dollars, because reals there's no makes sense for us. And now we are ready. Let's go. Well, what is the Brazilian Mega-Sena? It's only the most important lottery in Brazil. It's managed by the bank, a Brazilian bank. It's Caixa Econômica Federal. And only Caixa Econômica Federal, which is the bank, could manage lotteries in Brazil. And they manage a lot of lotteries, 9 at all. Mega-Sena is the most important. And things you need to know before playing. Well, how to bet and how to win. Well, the lottery has 60 numbers, and you can play at least 6 numbers, and at maximum 15 numbers. If you hit 4 of them, you win the quadra. If you hit 5 numbers, it's a quina. And if you hit 6, it's the Sena, which is the jackpot. And the cost of a bet with 6 numbers is just $1, just like here in the United States. And if you increase the numbers you can bet, of course, the price will be exponentially higher. The maximum you can bet is 15 numbers, which costs in dollars $5,000 and a half. The chances of winning is, for a bet with 6 numbers, 1 in 50 million. It seems to be extremely low chance, but here in the United States, the things are harder, because Mega Million is a lottery of the United States. To win the jackpot, the chances is 1 in 258 millions, 5 times more difficult to win than in Brazil. And the Powerball is still harder, because it's 1 in 290 million chance. Okay, so it's 6 times harder than Mega-Sena. This is a typical lottery house in Brazil, and the play slip in Brazil is pretty much the same of in the United States. It's very close to them. And you just choose the numbers, mark here, and pay. If you want the jackpot alone, if you are planning to go to Brazil, don't miss the chance of betting on the Mega-Sena, because you can be a millionaire also, as long as you can be here. Of course, the money is not this. I'm sorry. This one. I prefer that one, but in Brazil you get this. Okay. Few statistics about the Mega-Sena. The first one is the frequency of the numbers draw. Here are the most drawn numbers. Number 5 is the champion. It has been drawn 228 times. And the least one is number 26, 162. People in Brazil don't like to choose number 26, 55, and so on, because they are least drawn. And then for many people, this is not a good idea to do. Though many people only works with these numbers here. Well, where do the Mega-Sena winners come from? Of course, from Brazil, but in terms of states, here is a frequency of Sena winners per state. Of course, São Paulo is the most of the Sena winners comes from São Paulo, and 190 people won the Mega-Sena in São Paulo. Second one is Minas Gerais and Rio de Janeiro, and so on. There are some states that, for example, Acre is a north state. There's only one people won the Mega-Sena. Roraima, also in north region, won. And Tocantins, which is a new state, only 15 years, I think, Tocantins has been created. But there is a state that no one guy ever won the Mega-Sena. It's called Amapá. And comparing these two plots, this is the population distribution, you can be sure that the amount of winners of Sena is very correlated with the population distribution also, not the amount of money that population have. Here, have there ever been two equal results in the Mega-Sena draws? Well, we are now in the 1979 draw, and so far there is no coincidence between two different draws. But in terms of 5 matching, not 6, but 5 matches, there have been 11. And curiosity here is that in draw number 309, these numbers match 5 numbers of the subsequent, the follow draw. 309 and 309, 5 numbers were the same. This is impressive. Here, formats has more, a lot of examples. Here we are, let's make a simulation of the Mega-Sena. This is a simulator, and I hope you can see what is there. I'm not sure, I need to take this. This is a, let's see. Yes. Can you see it? Barely. But here, it's not very important what is there, because what matters is here. Look at this. The first control is the amount of money you are about to lose. Here you can start with $100, $1,000, $10,000, until $1 billion. Why $1 billion? Who has $1 billion? A crazy billionaire, of course. And the number of bets you can do at time can be 1, 10, until 1 million. Why I put so larger numbers? Because in the simulation, that's the good things to do. Crazy things, isn't it? And the quantity of numbers per bet, which could be 6 or 215, you can choose it. And here is a Brazilian thing called teimosinha. Teimosinha means that you can pay now, and your bet values for 2 or 3 weeks. You don't need to go back to the lottery house and waiting at the home. So with the minimum criteria here, you just run it and see that you won nothing, like here. Prize earned, nothing. But you lose $1.10. Okay, you run again, you win nothing, of course. Why you don't gain anything? Because first, the chances is absolutely against you. And here I added one thing that could be very educated. In terms of education, is a very powerful argument. A people who has this criteria, just 6 numbers, 1 bet, and so on, to win the Sena, in average, it could be necessary 408,000 years. 408,000 years, making a bet one at a time with minimum requirement. And to win the Quina is 1,000 years only. And the Quadra, 22 years, only to win a Quadra. Of course, you can improve it spending more money. For example, let's suppose that I'm going to start with $10,000, which is the money that I can have, you can have $10,000. Well, the number of bets, 10 at a time, for example, 10 forms. And of course, I must increase the numbers, but not too much, because here is the amount of money that you must pay for the bet. And to see, and take a look of the years necessary to buy something, to want something. Here's 2 months, 3 years, and 228 years. So let's run again and see if you want anything. Nothing, and nothing, and nothing, and nothing, and nothing, and nothing. So you are spending $2,000 every time I run this simulation. If you really want to win something, you need to play 15 and increase a little bit the number of bets, for example, 1,000 at a time. Note that here your chances are very good. 27 in 1, not 1 in 27, but the opposite. Yeah? So the numbers will start here. Yes, this time I won 1 quina, 15 quadras. because there are some tricks in the mechanism of the Mega-Sena, in fact, you won 1,050 quadras. Because when you bet too much numbers, you can make combinations inside, and it generates more quadras than more quinas and so on. Now you won $289,000, but you're in debt of $5 million. That's no good, and so on. But the very good thing in this simulation is that you can play the part of a crazy billionaire. Let's imagine that Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates, also one of these, wake up in the morning and tell, oh, I'll burn $1 billion. Yes, I never did it, so I'll do it today. And then I start with $1 billion. Let us clear everything before. And okay, I want to make 100 bets at a time because I have so much money. Why? Yes, 50 numbers, nothing more, nothing less than this. Oh no, this is $500 million. It's half of what I have. So I decrease a little bit. 55 million, it's okay. And then let's run. Wow, I won one Sena and 334 quinas and 22,000 quadras, which gave me $26 million. Yeah, but your expense was 55. Yes, let's try again. Maybe the luck is with me. Okay, now you got an amount of $41 million, but lose 110. There's no way to win this thing. If you are a compulsive gambler, yeah, that's right, gambler. There's no way, no way. You are all. The best thing is sometimes you dream with some numbers and go to the lottery and buy and win everything just one. But this is very, very difficult to lose, to occur. Well, going back to our presentation. Let me see, where is it? Yep. We can go to the last part of the session, which is tips from the experts. Tips from the experts. Before preparing this simulation, I never thought about there are some guys that are experts in teaching people how to win the Mega-Sena. People say, oh, if you know how to win, why don't you win? They said, yes, I did it 50 times. Now I want to teach you for you to be a millionaire also. So here are the tips. Tip number 1, prefer to bet more numbers on a same playlist than making several simple bets. I comment this. This is the following. Here's the 7 numbers, and here are 7 playlists with 6 numbers each. Well, in this case, they are absolutely equivalent. You won nothing more, nothing less in terms of chances. But of course, if you bet 6 playlists, this would be better. If you play 8 playlists, this will be better. So there's no prefer to bet more numbers on the same place. And it's not because there are more numbers that your chances will be higher. So it depends. Tip number 2. Avoid choosing consecutive numbers like 4, 5. Only the crazy guy choose number in consecutive. But it is how can I say, the chances that you have that this result comes out is the same of any other one. Of course, it's more probable that the number will be different because it's a kind of second law of thermodynamics. It's almost like entropy. As more diverse, as more the number is higher. Tip number 3, try to balance the choice between odd and even numbers. Oh, this is interesting because, in fact, if you compute all the numbers that has been drawn in the last 2,000 draws of Mega-Sena, the numbers are almost the same, but not in the particular result, because it can be sometimes in most of them odds, the other times even, and so on. But not the results in particular will be even and odd equal parts. Tip number 4, divide the card into 4 quadrants. This is more really interesting. Divide the card in 4 quadrants and distribute your numbers between them. It's just like this here. These numbers has been drawn right now. I don't know why it's 4. It's 4 here. Let me do it again. Here. Look, this is chosen by chance. Look at this. This quadrant here is, there's no 1. In here, just 1. Let's do it again. You can do that very many times here. And, oh, here is okay, distributed. But here, the 2 quadrants, there's no 1. So this rule is useless for many purposes. Tip number 5, do not play on numbers that are on the same vertical line. Oh my gosh. Here is, I'm sorry. Let me comment this. Here, oh, it's difficult to find a guy that would make this, choose these numbers. It's very difficult. I never saw. Well, in general, they are spread around this table, and people expect the results in this way. Tip number 6, do not play on numbers that are barely drawn. Oh, that's that table that I changed a little bit. Here are the plot of the numbers drawn, the frequency. Here are the number 5. I don't think you can read it, but the 220 times, 28. And here is the 26, which is the number that you are barely drawn. The numbers 26, and there is one 55, and so on. Do not use that numbers in your bet, because you lose for good. Tip number 7, never play a result that has already come out, because that never happened. Yes, it never happened, but it's about to happen, because there are 11 times that 5 numbers have matched in 2 different draws. And tip number 8, and the last one, never bet on Mega-Sena if you are in Amapá. Because Amapá, no one has won the Mega-Sena ever. If you go there and bet the Mega-Sena, you don't want anything. Thank you very much.